Alright, so we've got our next units shown officially being KAHONO and Nozel, both being party units as seasonals in Season 11 for Part 2, as seasonals on JP are in Part 2 now, and the pickups are in Part 1, which is way better for when fests come out, so that they come out first in the season. We have the animations and all that good stuff, so we're going to check it out all together. I'm going to break this down piece by piece. So this should be Nozel and this should be KAHONO. So as you can see here, Nozel is a blue debuffer and KAHONO a green supporter. It does seem KAHONO is much quicker than Nozel, but Nozel should be pretty quick too, considering he is a debuffer. We'll have to see how quick exactly that is. But I hope both are quick. If they make Nozel a debuffer and not an attacker, because he's not an attacker, I'm going to hope he's very, very, very quick. So let's go through this. Nozel, we could just play this part, right? So they look really good. They actually look really good. I'm very happy with their designs. You know, just this part here, the intro, all that stuff. I don't think that's the intro. I think that's just a party. It's very nice. Now, his skill 1, we're going to go through it like this. So skill 1, AoE, okay? So that's that. Skill 2 is also an AoE, but let's go through it. So skill 1, if you have 2 or less mercury, there is a 50% chance to inflict poisoning damage to all enemies because it's an AoE. And if you have 3 or more mercury stacks, you will inflict poisoning dots to all enemies. Okay. And poisoning is not really much. It's only 5%. I don't really think you'll never see it do too much damage, right? So it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Now, the skill 2 without the skill page is pretty mid, but it's okay, right? So we're going to talk about the mercury stacks in a bit, but they're very easy to get. Now, the skill 2 looks clean as hell. I'm not going to lie. One of the coldest animations in the game. It's AoE, and it applies damage lower if you have 2 or less for only 34%, and if you have 3 or more for 42%. What I find very cool about this damage lower is that it will be able to stack with Noel's, the Clover Academy Noel's 35% on everyone, because that 35% is a percentage. This is a level debuff. So you're going to be able to apply 42 plus 35 in some cases, or 35 plus 34. So it's going to be good. Very good. Now, if you have the skill page, we'll go like this. If you have the skill page, you kind of want the skill page, okay? With this beautiful art, yes, you want it. So what it puts is you're allowed to remove 1 buff from the specified enemy of your choice on the AoE, and then you apply a lower debuff duration by 1 turn on all enemies. It's very strong, okay? Very strong. And then what else is that if there's no dot when attacked on the enemy, there is a 100% chance to apply 20% increase in damage received debuff to the enemy for 1 turn. So Nozel for debuff wise is going to be good on the skill 2 especially. His skill 2 and his skill page is just going to be doing a lot of it. Now the ultimate, it's a single target with beautiful animation, right? Beautiful animation. I really like this. And there you go. So it's going to be applying a poison. Okay, let's check exactly. So I don't think it's that applying the poison, is it? It doesn't seem like it. There's no poison here, but it did apply a poison. So I don't even know. Oh, okay. I see. So what this is going to do is going to be putting immortality block. Now, this is only good if the person doesn't have immortality already, which is mostly the case. The problem with this is the immortality block only seems to be for the attack. Okay, we'll check more in game, but it seems to only be for the attack. Just looking at it, unfortunate. Now, when you kill an enemy, depending on the amount of mercury, which is going to be right below, you can get up to 3 stacks of mercury. You're going to be getting 90% damage increase for each mercury stack, okay? For each mercury stack that you have. Now, the problem is he's probably going to want to be built defensively, so it's not going to do a lot of damage. And same with the immortality block. Like, you're not really going to be killing unless he's already very low, right? So unfortunate there. And then you apply mercury removal to yourself. Okay. Combo inflicts poisoning to all enemies. Okay. Now, the unique passive. You apply mercury effect to yourself at the start of the turn, every turn, up to 3 times. And what it gives is 10% damage reduction. So you're going to be able to give yourself 30% damage reduction, which isn't bad. Now, what makes him good, I think, is the dupe 2, where all dots granted to you turn to mercury. All dots. So you're not going to be able to have DLTs applied, which is going to be strong, and then you're going to get 30% damage reduction for 3 mercury stacks. The max dupe, though, is, I think, really mid. So I'm going to hope that he gets a bunch of speed from his max dupe, where when you have 3 or more mercury, you apply poisoning when attacking an enemy. That's it. Now, why that's stupid is because if there's no dot on the enemy, then you apply the damage received buff, increase in damage received buff. Only if there's no poison. So why would you want to put poison? I don't understand it. But this Nozel does seem to be pretty good. Okay, he looks very clean, right? Very clean. Now the problem I see is with his teams. If we do go to here, they show team recommendations or the teams that they use. And honestly, I don't really work with this, right? Now, for the most part, I would say that this team with luck here instead would be very good. Noelle's going to apply her damage reduction, Nozel too. Now, the only problem against this team really is Marileona. I don't see Mono Red being a problem. I do not really see Mono Green being a problem in some cases. With luck, it should work decently well. But I do think Nozel will actually be a nice addition. It's just this William slot could either be William or Zora. Now, if you're fighting Mario, you would want to put William in slot 1 and use the damage reduction so that luck could survive. Like, these two are going to survive just fine. But it's mainly luck that turn 1 is going to be a problem. So putting William in slot 1, give luck the 90% damage reduction total with luck's dupe 2 is going to be very, very good. So yes, I would say that this team could work where if this was luck, and then William, I think, could be Zora. I don't know if, I don't think the defender William would work in this team, but we will have to see. I do think he is nice. I think you need a skill page, and we'll have to see in terms of his speed, because speed will play a factor into it. If he could be quicker than Vanessa, which is at 112 speed, then I think we're in business. But that's going to be a problem. Like, quicker than 112 for a debuffer is going to be rough. But nevertheless, he seems very cool. I just wish we could see his speed. It's quite difficult to. Like, if we check here, like, just looking at it, it's just a hard bunch of units to really gauge. He's quicker than Julius, so higher than 107. But how high is he, right? That's the main problem we'd have to check. Because obviously William's quicker, but how, like, you can't really compare because like William and Charlotte are way quicker, right, than everyone. So we'll have to see. Now let's go to Kahono. All right, so let's check out the little graphic animation thingy that they do here, and then we'll be good. So looks very cool, right? I like how she looks too. Green supporter, which I think is actually quite a good choice. Now skill 1, okay, single target. Okay, and now let's check what she does. So, skill 1 is going to be applying a 40% attack power increase to the person with the highest attack, right? 40% is going to be good. Now, she's mainly going to be working with Yami and Raya, because those are two people that want to be with attack. Now, the problem with showing off Kahono is that I don't really have an attack build on JP or KR. Like, it's not good attack builds. I don't know what they're going for. Like, people aren't really, they're not building attack. Like, you have your Asta build, so maybe you want to use it with Asta, but that's it. That's it. Now the skill 2 is going to be, I'm probably gonna have to like just show her off with, I don't know what I'm gonna do for Kahono. Like, I want it for myself, but yeah. Now the skill 2 is going to be increasing the buff duration for 1 turn. Okay, going to be giving a level 3 attack power increase and giving an Aria of the beginning effect to allies. I think that's AoE. We'll have to see. I think that's just to a single ally. Okay. So this is going to be nice, like extending buff duration, giving level 3 attack increase, and an Aria of the beginning. So what that is going to be like Kiato's buffs, if you remember. So 5% penetration, 2% crit damage, up to 5 times, giving 25% pen, 10% crit damage. And then, once it's at 5 stacks, you're going to be getting Festival Aria, which is going to give 60% pen, 45% crit damage, and then 15% increased damage. This is going to be very good stuff, especially when you combo with the ult. It's going to be giving herself 50% mobility, so she uses the ult, gets back to 50%, is going to attack very quick again, which is very good. Now, it's going to be giving level 4 crit rate and giving everyone Aria at the beginning, which isn't really that good. Like, if it was pen, crit damage, and damage reduction, then I think it could be very good. Very good. But they didn't do that. They didn't think of doing that. So, unfortunate. Now this ult, what you're going to do usually is use the ult and use the skill 2 very quickly after, increase buff duration, and you're going to be chilling. Now this is an interesting combo where she is going to be giving level 3 attack power increase, but also 50% chance to apply stun condition to partner's attack. So you're giving the partner the chance to give the stun. Now increases power by 70%. So this means the level 3 attack is a 70% increase. Wow. Okay. Yeah, no, Kahono, and also you got to consider this 70% is going to stack with this 40%. Because it's different, it's different wording for the buffs. So, next is when attacked by a defender class enemy, the ally with the highest attack power adds 30% damage increased strengthening effect for 2 turns. So, she's going to be giving a bunch of buffs. If you're fighting a defender boss, you're chilling. Now, when attacked, give Aria of the beginning effect to the ally with the highest attack power. And then the ult is when using an ult. Sorry, the dupe 5 is when using an ult, you give 1 Aria of the beginning to the designated ally. So, very quickly, you will be able to get the Festival Aria thing. And this is just going to be good for anyone, right? Because if you use this ult and you start getting stuff up, you're going to get penetration, crit damage, crit rate, increased buff duration. And, I mean, that's going to be pretty good, right? And then you also give the damage increase here. Now, if they were attack, would be way better, but doesn't necessarily need to be. So I would like to try it out with, like, Spirit Dive, just to see. But the problem is, you want, like, for Spirit Dive, you want to be more defensive than offensive. Like, if this was magic attack, it would make sense for Spirit Dive. Like, I think you could actually make very good use of this. But because she's attack, not many units use attack. Not many people have attack sets. Like, look at the amount of attacks, DPSs, okay? It's these. And then look at the amount of magic attack. Like, it just goes on, right? A lot of units take magic attack over attack. So I just don't really, not really understanding what their point is here with Kahono besides PvE. Especially, my main problem with it is that they showed her off in PvP, right? So they use this team, which Yami does do a lot of damage in the end, but you need the proper builds, right? You need a good build, which I ain't getting in 5 days, right? That's my problem. I mean, maybe I could try, but I wouldn't be able to get good substats. Now, Kahono would help out with that, but we'll have to see. I am pretty happy with this Kahono. Let's look at animations. I forgot to look at it. Skill 2 is going to be buff increase, or not buff increase, but buff extension and all that stuff. And then the ult. So yeah, that's these 2 units. I think that Kahono is like going to be very good long term just for like supporting and all that. But was it what we needed right now? Like, no, there's not really hard content. I don't really see a need for it. Usually you would expect them to release more hard content and then release a new unit like Kahono for PvE. But that's not the case because they like to build up in advance, which is a very stupid way of doing this, which I explained in a video. But yeah, those are the new units. I'm very excited for Nozel. Kahono's whatever. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys think of these new units. I think Kahono could be okay. Nozel's going to be pretty cool though.